How are you? Not bad. Can't get it. Everybody wants it. Thank you. Take it over there. Take it over there. Macca's is a food choice.
And welcome, I'm just hearing myself back. Welcome back to the Avalon Airport Oval. We might just take, there we go, that's better. Welcome back to the Avalon Airport Oval for Game 2 in the triple header. If you've just joined us, the Northern Knights had a resounding victory against the Western Jets in the first game, and now we have the 5th place Calder Cannons taking on the top placed Eastern Rangers. My name's Phil Crooks and I'll be joined in commentary by Matthew Cox. How are you, Matthew?
Very good, looking forward to this one. If you'd said at the start of the season that the Eastern Rangers would be on top of the NAB League ladder, anyone would have told you would have been dreaming, but they have been one of the most consistent sides across the competition. They haven't been impacted too much. They've had a couple of players that have gone on to representative duties, but they've had a largely consistent side. They all play a team role, they're all accountable, and that's why they're in such good shape at the top end of the table. Whereas you look at the Calder Cannons this season, a little like the last two that we saw in the previous games, the Western Jets and the Northern Knights, their season's been a little up and down, but they've still managed to get themselves into a good spot. And having said that, they're currently level on points with the Sandringham Dragons. Daniel Mott is definitely a player to keep an eye on, number 1 for the Calder Cannons. Been invited to the National Draft Combine, played all four games for Vic Metro. The other player too that's been invited to the National Draft Combine from the Calder Cannons, Harrison Jones, he also played 4 games for Vic Metro, averages 11 disposals in his 4 games so far this season for the Calder Cannons at NAB League level. A couple of the others to keep an eye on, Curtis Brown, number 5, he's been selected at the Victorian State Draft Combine, 13 games this season, averaging 17 disposals. Sam Ramsey, another one invited to the State Draft Combine, has played 12 games for the NAB League boys this season, averaging 22 touches there. Jeremy O'Sullivan, number 12, also a Victorian State Draft Combine invite, 13 games, 12 goals he's been able to kick. And Brodie Newman, the skipper, also has a State Draft Combine. As we take a look at the Eastern Rangers, Crooksy.
Eastern Rangers, as we mentioned, are on top of the ladder. Mitch Mellis is one I'm looking forward to seeing. He's been invited to the Vic State Draft Combine, represented Vic Metro in 2 games, and in his 9 games for Eastern in the NAB League this year, he's kicked 9 goals and averaging 27 disposals, 4 tackles and 3 marks. Number 13 is Jamison Rossiter. He's also been invited to the State Draft Combine, represented Vic Metro twice, and has played the 9 games and kicked 12 goals for Eastern Rangers in the NAB League. And another teammate from Rowville Footy Club is Lachlan Stapleton. Again, another invitee to the State Draft Combine. He also represented Vic Metro against the Allies in the Under-18 Championships, and in his 9 games for the Rangers, he's averaged 23 disposals, 7 tackles, bit of a tackling machine is Lockie Stapleton. The Rangers won the toss through their skipper, James Ross, and they're kicking to the Northern or Werribee Town Centre Melbourne end.
And just another curious stat with the Eastern Rangers before we welcome Rick Morris back to the commentary box. They haven't, despite being the top side on the NAB League ladder, they haven't got anyone invited to the National Draft Combine in 2019.
Fair enough, and full marks to the security of the building here. I was locked out then. Couldn't get back in.
Couldn't get back in.
They do it very well, so we're well protected here, Crooksy. Just in case all the fans want to rush us after the game.
Well, we're having an autograph table set up. All right, second game of the triple header. Umpire raises the Sharon. Take it away, Matthew.
We'll have Riley Smith and Josh Hodgkin in the ruck to get us underway for this second match of the triple header. Fell straight into the hands of Freddie, but the umpires immediately blown the whistle. The non-officiating umpire said there was a bit of holding going on, and a free kick will go the way of Mitch Mellis. Plays on immediately, goes to half forward with the kick. It's good, hits up Chase Black, name we called a few times earlier in the year for the Eastern Rangers. Goes to the heart of attacking 50, off hands, taken by Downey. Flying shot at goal goes to the left-hand side.
Of course, Chase Black is the son of Heath Black,
Yep.
former Docker and Saint.
So Cannons go along to the outer side. They were searching out there for Edwards. Ball off hands, and again, working it clear. Pretty. Rangers back inside it, attacking 50. Newman with a fist just belts it over the boundary line and out of play. Or throw it in.
Rangers in their traditional royal blue with the red, white and yellow V on the front of the Guernsey, and thank goodness, Rick, the Cannons are in their alternate strip.
Yes, you can definitely tell them apart, but one thing that's caught my eye already is the ruckman. They are two big boys. Josh Hodgkin for the Cannons, 200 centimetres, but very solid. And also Riley Smith for the Rangers, 101 kilos and 199 centimetres. Two big lads.
Solid lumps. Cannons through the centre of the ground. Kick up wide, running with the flight of the ball. Good courage by all participating. Ball works its way loose. Now the Cannons through Sasalu. Just can't get it inside the boundary line, and the boundary umpire will come in. Gee, they're coming a long way, Rick. Not quite used
I think they've overcooked it a bit. So we don't want to criticise, but they...
A little bit too
I
far.
like it.
Do you?
I like it.
I like seeing all the ground used too, Matt. So it sort of cuts out that boundary play. Mick Moldhouse wouldn't be too happy with that.
No, he's where he'd like to play. Ball kicked into the forward pocket, and it goes over the boundary line out of bounds. We are 20 metres around from the Cannons' goal. Just the 1 point to the Rangers. 3 minutes in, boundary umpire comes in. It's just disconcerting us, old timers like Rick and I. As he tosses it in, dangerous spot. Up they go. Fall of the ball, snap at goal, and mark taken. Good work by the skipper of the Eastern Rangers, James Ross. Plenty of whistles getting blown. They kick up forward, intercept mark for the Cannons. Quick handball. Now they drive it inside, and the mark is taken by the skipper, James Ross.
I think it might be Harrison Jones.
Harrison Jones, yes, sorry. Good call. Harrison Jones has marked this. He will kick it from 45 metres out. He's on the very slightest of angles, near enough to directly in front. No breeze to speak of. He comes in, kicks, and straight through. First goal on the board for the Cannons. 4 minutes into the first term. 1 goal straight 6. The Eastern Rangers are just the solitary behind.
Bit of housekeeping just following up from the previous game. Archie Manton finishing on 28 goals, so he's firmly in front when it comes to goal kicking for the season. It's down to Hickleton for the Eastern Rangers, or Phillips from the Gippsland Power, who needs 6 goals to tie or 7 to win the goal kicking. So they're going to require a bag.
I'm backing Archie in.
I think he's
over the line.
I think he's got there. Thank you very much to Anthony Stangitz for passing that information on to us. As the Cannons have a 5-point lead, early stages. Hodgkin trying to burst his way through the contest. Briefly forward for the Cannons. Under a little bit of pressure there, Garner flicked the handball into trouble. Ball paddling around, chasing it. Gentili pops it inside, attacking 50 for the Calder Cannons, who get another mark. In fact, it's brother to brother. It's Flynn Gentili to Ned Gentili. Just inside, attacking 50 on a very tight angle. A little bit of a breeze has picked up towards this end of the ground too. Just flags fluttering in the background as Gentili comes in. He's just pushed that one to the right-hand side.
Now, I know Crooksy's likes the look of a long-sleeve jumper, but, gee, it stands out when it's all white. And we've got one player out there, Mason Fletcher, 200 centimetres with the long jumper. And, yeah, with the white Guernsey, does it stand out?
Did his father ever wear a long-sleeve Guernsey for the Bombers? Dustin? I can't remember.
I think he did, yeah.
I think he did, yeah.
As the Rangers go forward, it is a big kick there by Rossiter into the pocket, but beats all comers and over the boundary line and out of bounds.
We know Crooksy likes it in terms of the jumper and the fashion style, but I wonder whether Clarko, what words he'd have to say about it.
Well, on a day like today, you wouldn't like Mason wearing that, I suppose. But
I think I heard Jared Ruffhead wore one at training the other day.
Jared Ruffhead wore one in this game here. He played last weekend here for Box Hill and wore a long sleeve. He wore two jumpers. He wore his short sleeve and his long sleeve. All right, ball back in. Rossiter gets the tap down. Cannon's clear. It's a dirty big up and under. Brings down rain. Cannons. Flick it backwards, close to the boundary line. Just trying to keep it in. Easton, go forward. Beats all comers. It's a hot potato. Quick snap at goal, through for a behind.
What's become really clear down at ground level is that both sides are particularly tall. There's plenty of height in this game, so the marking overhead is going to be really important. And in the conditions, that is certainly something that both sides can achieve.
Good work, Siobhan, down on the boundary line. Easton just outside 50. Gall kicks it in forward, and there's a mark taken, Matt. It is
trying to spot that out number. It is Jordan Jaworski.
Jordan Jaworski.
Good mark.
Bullet pass, wasn't it? Nearly caved in his chest there. Had to get down low.
There was a Bowden Jaworski used to play for Hawthorn many, many years
Now, we
ago.
have mentioned that before, so I think there is a relative.
Up they go, off hands and through for another behind. Third behind on the board for the Rangers. Three behinds, 3 to 1 goal, 1-7.
So Cannons look to bring it to the broadcast side. Pack forms, plenty of players jumping for the footy, but no one really there to take it at ground level. Ball forced over the boundary line and out of play. Sensational day here at Avalon Airport Oval. All 6 Victorian Metro sides competing. Second game of the triple header, and the Rangers work it by hand to Downey inside 50. Good work from Newman to bring it to ground. Will end up with a handball if it can sit kindly for him. He loses his feet. Opportunity opens up for the Eastern Rangers. Quick series of handballs inside attacking 50. They cop it up. Can the Cannons escape? They're under pressure. They've balked. Holding the footy. Free kick to go the way of the Eastern Rangers.
There was 3 opportunities for a long kick out of trouble there that they didn't take, and that would have been the better option, to just kick out of trouble, because there was so much congestion there.
Zalek with the reward. So he'll be kicking from at least 45 metres out. In fact, it's just from within the arc in the end. Again, that one just floats across the face of goal and through for another minor score. They've had 4 scoring opportunities so far, the Eastern Rangers. Have come up with 4 behinds. Cannons 1-1-7.
They bring the ball back in. Do Calder. Kick to the outer side of the ground. Worked underneath it. Tackled. Eventually they get it clear. Kick to centre wing. Rangers intercept. They're going to send it back from whence it came. Oh, just gets caught, collared. Now series of tackles. Ball in the middle. They need a clearing kick. It's a tumbler to centre half forward. Punched. Plenty of Cannons. They pick it up. Go out wide. Gentile. Oh, nice intercept. Caught. Collared. might have been holding the ball, in my humble opinion, on the square. They break clear the Cannons. Good work. They've got numbers. They've got the footy. They kick to half forward and mark taken. Nice work. Paia, Samuel Paia. Again, the Cannons have got it just outside 50. They kick to the top of the arc. Thought about playing on Curtis Brown. And Curtis Brown decided he's going to take the shot. Wearing the number 5. Curtis Taylor was number 5 for the Calder Cannons. You don't get too many Curtises around, do you? They're both wearing number 5 for the Calder Cannons.
I think someone got the message out after we were talking about Mason Fletcher as well. He's donned the short sleeves now, sleeveless.
Okay, coming in and kicking is Curtis Brown, and he's got there the whole way, knew his distance. Good kick, good footy. Always a bit of that extra pressure, Rick, because he could have played on.
Yeah, exactly. He executed well, and typical left footer there with the booming
raking sort of kick.
Yeah, beautiful kick, and it threw for a goal. 181 centimetres, so handy type. That's an awkward size, isn't it, for a footballer? You're sort of in between there.
You're not big, you're not small.
Particularly for someone forward of centre.
Yep.
2-1-13 plays 4 straight behinds, if behinds can be straight. And we're 12 and a half minutes into the first term.
3 scoring shots to 4, and the Cannons lead by 9 points. Rangers win the tap. Caught immediately is Pretty. Ball spills free. Again, the Cannons get it to Thomas. Up and under kick towards the broadcast wing. Beat all comers. Sutton lost his feet. Just a wild handball. Brown again in the thick of things. So too Sally. Back to Brown, who spears one inboard. Mark taken here by Edwards. Goes wide.
Oh, well done.
Desperate stuff there from Gilby. Runs along the outer wing. Sends it inside 50 for the Eastern Rangers. Fist there from Rossiter. Brought it to ground. They work it by hand. Rossiter ended up back with the footy in his hands, but again pushes it across the face of goal. Ball out of play.
Wasting some opportunities here, the Eastern Rangers.
Good work by Gilby there. He's playing it around that back line area, half-back, back pocket.
Of course, the nephew of Lindsay Gilby, former Western Bulldogs great.
Good friend of the commentary team, Lindsay Gilby, from the grand final days.
Yes, definitely.
Used to pinch our sandwiches, he did. Calder trying to clear it. Showing a bit of poise there. They kick it out wide. Rangers are going to lead the race to the ball through Gilby. Puts in a little shorty. Doesn't hit the target. Calder can intercept. Rangers have got the numbers and win the footy back. Goes back to Gilby. His kick is smothered. Now Calder with the footy on hands and knees. Bit of an inside-outside kick. Kicks it bang on centre wing. Ball in dispute. Who wants it? Who wants it more? Wrapped up in a gang tackle, and the ball will be thrown up. Bang on the centre line. You can see the scoreboard in the background. 2-1-13 plays 4 behinds. Ball spills out. No one can pick it up. Calder, handball to the back to get it forward. Just needs some... Oh, crunched in a tackle. Brown clears it out wide, gets it back, works through traffic, dispossessed as he tries to kick it. Rangers clear it by hand, quick. Tackled, rolled over, Stapleton applying the tackle. Bit of a tackling machine, as we pointed out pre-match. We're still inside the centre square. Tap down. Quick handball. Sonzi kicks inside. Oh, crunch. Oh, ripped off. Good work. Just got his foot to the ball when he didn't need to. I don't think he meant to kick that. And the ball will be thrown in. This makes the throw-in really difficult to defend when it's right next to the point post. Puts it into plenty good open space. Cannons, tap, snap. It's all Calder in the goal square. They take it cleanly. One bounce. This is Tully, 2 bounces. Looping handball over the top. Another looping handball goes to Andronako. He kicks inside 50, needs a mark, and he's got it. This is Cardillo, who kicks it into the middle of the arc. Can't take it. Now it's Easton. They get it over to Riley Smith. He loops a handball over. Mellis across the top to Black. Chase Black gets onto the right boot. Kicks to half forward. Defensive mark, not quite taken. Close to the boundary and over the boundary line, out of bounds, right in front of the commentary position. Ball to be thrown in.
Ramsey there, just positioned himself beautifully. Judged that, didn't take the mark, but got himself in front and won the footy.
Virtually on centre wing here at Avalon Airport Oval. Comes straight to ground. Minton Connell hurried the kick forward. Hurahan taken immediately. No time to get rid of it. The umpire says, give it to me, I'll ball it up. Calder Cannons at half forward. It's done the damage on the scoreboard early. Being more efficient going inside 50. Eastern Rangers under a fair bit of pressure. Toe poked forward by Keeping. Ross dishes it out. Saligo goes over the top to Stapleton, not the required journey. He has to retreat to Gilby, who pops one up high towards the centre wing. Cannons will send it back inside, attacking 50. It was a hot footy, awkward bouncing ball for everyone.
Oh, here we go.
Eventually ending up with the footy, Cardillo, who puts it through for the Cannons' third. It's just been better going inside 50 with the ball use, Rick.
Yeah, they did well there. There was 2 efforts there. I missed the player in that contest there. He made 2 efforts at it and kept the ball alive and managed to get it out to the running player there and kicked the goal. It was well done. There he is. 2 efforts and the goal.
We still don't know who it is. Bit hard to pick up.
Gentili or Jones, I think I saw a 21 or 27. There's one of them.
All right, back in the middle. 3-1-19 plays 4 behinds. Neither ruckman decisive. Comes out. Mitch Mellis feeds out the wide handball. Now they go inside 50, the Rangers. Don't hit a target. And close to the boundary, tackled over the boundary line, out of bounds. Forward pocket, northern end of the ground.
Mitch Mellis, a 19-year-old, or seems to have been around a long time in our calling?
Just 18 years of
18?
age. In fact, he's not even 18 yet.
He's played a few games.
5th of September 2001.
Okay.
Turns 18 in a couple of weeks.
Hodgkin hands it off. Cannons. Oh, you could hear that. Beautiful smother. The Rangers. Gee, they could do with a goal. Nice lead. Nice mark. And this is Ben Hickledon. That was good work by the Rangers.
Went into the ruck for a short while and now back on the forward line.
Hickledon on a 45-degree angle. They could just do with one, just a settler. Just a settler. He comes in, spinning the ball in his hands. Comes in, quite deliberate, kicks, and he's got it. Good kick, Ben. Ben Hickledon gets his first, the Rangers first. They move on to 1-4-10. The Cannons are 3-1-19, 20 minutes into this first term.
Just starting to get their game together, the Rangers. I know it's not showing on the scoreboard, but they're working away at it.
Well, in a way it is. 5 scoring shots to 4. They're in the game. They're just not converting all that brilliantly yet. A long way to go. They're not on top of the ladder for without reason.
With just under 5 minutes remaining in the opening term, we'll get things back underway. Two big men go at it. Tap one down by Riley Smith. Daniel Mott, though, moving the ball forward, searching for Sutton. Does a dance, got caught. Was able to get the handball away, almost got the 1-2. Collects now. Quick handball was given off into immediate trouble. The umpire says, give it to me, I'll ball it up. It's Flynn Gentili getting off the bottom of the pack there for the Calder Cannons. One down by Smith into the hands of Pretty. A clearing kick towards the centre wing will be cut off. So Cannons with the intercept through Thomas. He goes forward again looking for Sutton. Had the big ruckman to beat in Smith. Ball pushed over the boundary line and out of play. Back inside attacking 50 for the Calder Cannons.
They got the ruckman Hodgkin hovering around the centre of the ground on his own at the moment, the Cannons.
Just the spare. Now he's been manned up as the Rangers trying to get it to Gilby. In the end, couldn't get there, and the Cannons send it straight into the heart of attacking 50. Good intercept mark taken there by McCormick. Just a little toe poke into the back pocket on the outer side for the Eastern Rangers, trying to navigate their way out of defence. The big man Smith flies and takes the mark. Just assesses his options. Goes short to Gilby on the half-back flank. The umpire said not the required journey, play on. Gilby receives the 1-2. Looked to go back to Smith, changed his mind at the last minute, went to the centre wing. Newman flew for it, couldn't bring it in. Tackle laid on by Lockie Stapleton. We'll see that a few times throughout the day. And we'll get a ball up on the centre wing out of side. As we approach quarter time. In fact, it's a boundary throw-in that we get. Straight down to Stapleton. Fed the hands to Black to Pretty. High ball wide. Got punched out of the hands of Jaworski. The umpire says we'll throw it in. Now half forward for the Eastern Rangers. Under 2 minutes remaining on the clock. Opening term of this second game as part of our triple header coming your way live through the NAB League app. Download through the App Store or Google Play Store. Not only can you watch every game of NAB League boys action, but all the stats are there for you as well, plus highlights. As the Rangers go inside attacking 50. Newman just stuck a mid out, was able to force the ball to ground. Giving it up there, Hickleton. Under pressure, Gall. Still managed to work it back inside 50. There was an infringement going the way of the Calder Cannons. He'll take the kick inside defensive 50. And it is Brodie Newman, the skipper, with the ball in his hands.
Newman just keeps it in. The pack flies. We're working close to the boundary line, too close, as the umpire will take this and hurl it back in the shadows of quarter time. They are two big boys in the ruck. Good Lord. A good tap down by Honch. They work the ball clear. Lovely sweeping handball. Ends up in the hands of Keeping. Keeping goes wide. Ball spills. Not a lot of time left. Caught with the ball is Sutton, and the ball will be thrown up. Time for little else now. As the siren sounds, and it finds the Cannons leading 3-1-19 to the Eastern Rangers 1-4-10, a lead of 9 points. Quarter time here. We will take a break and be back on the other side of this. You are watching NAB League triple header action, round 17 from Avalon Airport Oval.
Just over at the Eastern Rangers huddle waiting for the talent manager Sean Toohey. It's a quite upbeat group. They've all split off into their huddles, each line, and they're all discussing what was a very eventful first quarter for the Eastern Rangers. I'm with the talent manager of the Eastern Rangers, Sean Toohey. That was a great first term, but you would have to say it was a bit of a wasted opportunity in front of goal.
Yeah, probably been the story of our last 2 or 3 games, really wasting opportunities in front of goal. So hopefully we can correct that and balance it up a bit.
You've gone in very tall. Was that an area you thought you could exploit them in terms of overhead marking?
No, not exactly. It wasn't sort of a decision based on our opposition or anything. It was really just our best 23 for this week. We got a few back from injury and VFL duties as well. So we just thought this was probably our best team that we've had probably in the last 6 to 8 weeks, really.
Coming in with a lot of confidence on top of the ladder, what would the coach's message be to the boys heading into the second quarter?
But just to showcase your skills on a day like today. It's a great opportunity on what's almost a final stage here, isn't it? With a triple header and this sort of weather. So really great opportunity for the boys to showcase what they can do and at the highest level with everyone back from school footy and rep duties as well. So it's a really good opportunity.
Zach Pretty started the game really well, as well as James Ross.
Yeah, look, Zach's work inside is elite with his hands and his vision, so he's been good there for us all year. And James's leadership and his intercept marking down back, his confidence is really high at the moment, so hopefully he continues that.
Thanks for your time and good luck.
Good work, Siobhan, down on the ground with Sean Toohey in his second or third year, I think, as talent manager out at the Eastern Rangers. And doing a good job. Darren Buick's been coaching them for as long as I
Over
can...
10 years.
Over 10 years, yep.
As long as I can remember. And he's up against Ross Smith from Calder Cannons. I reckon they probably would have played on each other in the AFL days when they used to represent their clubs, the Bombers and the Roos. So, interesting first quarter, Rick. What do you make of it?
Oh, well, looking at the disposals, the man they were talking about just before, Zach Pretty, is leading with 8 disposals so far. A lot of inside work with just the 2 kicks, but getting enough of the footy. We've also got Daniel Mott on 7 and also Curtis Brown on 7 with Nick Gentile on 6 and Gilby on 6 as well, Jared Gilby. So they've been the main ball winners.
And team-wise, Rick, did you...
I think, team-wise.
Yeah, the stats.
I wanted my opinion for once, Crooksy. That'd be more to the point.
It'd be a cold day in August and say, I want that. I just want you to read out the stats on the NAB League app, the team stats.
Okay, well, it went and switched on me there. But my opinion is the Rangers were getting back into that game just then.
I take that on board.
Now, the team stats... No, I've lost them.
It's a very user-friendly app.
Watching Rick try and use technology is one of the most entertaining things
I thought
I've
I had
seen.
it nailed there earlier and you switched to team view.
While you navigate that, Rick, I felt the Eastern Rangers, as you said, they did start to get on top. They got a bit of rhythm going in the back end of that opening term. But Calder Cannons, they've come out, they look a little daring every time they get the ball in their hands.
He's got him.
So the kicks are leaning in the way of the Eastern Rangers, 38 to 34. Handballs 45 to 42. So still in the Rangers' favour there. Disposals 83 to 76 overall. Not a lot between them. Inside 50s, 12 to the Eastern Rangers and 9 to the Cannons. And rebounds from the 50s, 11 to the Cannons, 6 from the Eastern Rangers. The marks favour the Rangers 13 to 8 as well. And the hitouts 14 to 6. So they're getting more of it and just haven't put it on the scoreboard.
Just missing that efficiency.
But we didn't
accuracy.
even need to look at the stats to know that, did we,
No,
Matthew?
and I do like how Crooksy was just keeping an eye on his app as you wandered down the stats, making sure you didn't get it wrong. We are in flying form up here in the commentary box.
It's always good to have an opinion, but if you can back it up with some facts like the stats provide you, then it's a win-win situation. All right.
And of course, you can get all those stats through the NAB League app, downloaded in the App Store or Google Play Store.
It's
the number one destination for under 18 footy.
It's a valuable tool, especially at this time of year when those stats are collated. Second quarter action, middle of the triple header. Take it away, Maddo.
So big man Smith just got that one down. The hurry kick away from the contest was by Joel Nathan towards half forward. Bouncing ball, Newman lost his footing. Under pressure here, Rossiter was able to get the handball out to Clark. Hurry to kick forward. Again, Cannons with plenty of numbers there. Overman is all wrapped up by Zalek and will get a ball up. Just a little slight breeze picking up here as the day progresses. Avalon Airport Oval, just favouring the right-hand side of screen.
Has the temperature gone down about 3 degrees?
I think it's blowing into our faces. Tell you, Jake Sutton stands out with that white hair, doesn't he?
He certainly does. Matches well
Play
with Guernsey.
at Essendon, wouldn't he?
He might. That's Mellis. He's caught. Now Duffy. Same result for him. Jeez, it's a rolling scrum. Duffy now having to lay on the tackle. We get another ball up.
Did you like Robbo's comments on the Essendon players dyeing their hair?
Have we digressed? Are we not here to look at
I'm
this
just
wonderful
interested in
NAB
your
league? Well, I'll
opinion
talk to you in
there.
the car park on the way home. As the Cannons go forward, inside 50, overshoot the mark. Rangers kick to half forward, again over the back, Calder. That is Thomas. Takes the time, goes forward. Oh, caught. A little bit slow. Mellis in underneath. Again, work close to the boundary line. Caught. Scrappy footy. Eventually it spills out. You can hear the tackle in the mic. As they go forward, Calder to no one in particular. Again, the ball is just run over the boundary line and out of bounds by Todd Garner. Ball to be thrown in on the 50-metre arc.
Again, the ruckman behind play here, a kick behind. Bit of an old-fashioned tactic, that.
It is. Against Court. Easton have got the numbers, now they've got the footy. Kick to half forward. And that is punched over the boundary line and out of bounds. Don't think it's got quite the skill level of the first game. This game?
Not at this stage, but I'm just expecting more from the Rangers as the game goes on.
Is that because they're both trying to play the ball on as quick as they can every time they get it in their hands?
Could be, yes.
Like to see a little more composure.
They go forward. This is through Edwards, but the mark is intercepted for Calder. They go inboard. Ramsey. Ramsey goes out wide. Yeah, wait for the whistle. Mark paid. And this is Harrison Jones. Jones goes out wide and spots up Andronarco.
Out on the full.
Out in the full. Resultant free kick to Jared Gilby. Gilby runs around the mark. Got a bit of toe on him too, Gilby. He kicks up forward, man in front. Paid, might have got
Chopped.
had his arms chopped. Plays on anyway. Calder kick to centre wing. The big men fly. That'll be in the back.
Early fly.
See if we can get some continuity and some fluency in the game for me, please, Matthew.
The Rangers. They've got players on this broadcast side. One
Dangerous.
of them will be Parker. He takes the mark, but he's under pressure immediately from Fletcher. Goes inboard with the kick. Mark taken by Hurahan, who switches it back to the outer side to Gilby. Back to where they started. Just going to lob this one towards half forward. Beat everyone. Spinning his way through traffic, Minton Connell. Ball to ground. Hurry kick from the Cannons towards the wing. Again, no mark claimed. The sprawling handball given out there from Campbell Edwards. Rangers back with possession of the footy.
Here
A
we go.
chain of handballs to half forward. We're flying. Downey sprayed that one well wide out on the full. No, out of a couple of bounces and over the boundary line and out of play.
Even their kicks, you're not getting the nice spin of the footy off the boot or anything. They're all tumblers and finger breakers and that.
They've got more time than what I think they have.
They have, yeah. They're rushing it.
Hodgkin won the tap down for the Cannons. Inside defensive 50. A lot of blue jumpers around this one though. Stapleton centering ball for the Eastern Rangers. Ball off hands. There's still plenty of numbers hovering. Cannons though able to soccer it away. Out of defensive 50 momentarily. Hurahan flick the handball. Now the big man has it in Smith. Retreats to Gilby. Centre wing on the outer side. Comes inboard with the kick. It's okay. Jordan Jaworski takes the mark. Was under a little bit of pressure as he got the kick away. Ruckman flew. Oh, Cannons handballed into no man's land. Newman had to mop up and just puts a hurry kick on the boot. Again, beats all comers. Taking it, Harrison Jones. Rangers pop it back inside 50. No mark there for Duffy. Cannons need to hit up a target this time, and they do now to release some pressure. It's in the hands of Sam Ramsey.
Ramsey, good haircut, like that sort of undercut look. As Ramsey kicks it to centre wing. Big pack, no mark. Now the Cannons. Oh, break the tackle, good work. It's a deep kick, looking for Fletcher inside 50. As Mason lopes after it. Boundary line beats all comers. And the ball will be thrown in. No real advancement on the score. 7 minutes into this quarter. They go. Need to flick the ball out. Good use of the body. Cannons. They're under a heap of pressure here, Easton, and eventually the ball is smothered over the line. And this is interesting, where it goes out just inside the point post, the ball comes all the way out into the heart of forward 50. In she comes. Ball punched towards the line. Need to be evasive and quick. Kick smothered. Close to the boundary line again, and we'll repeat the dose. Approaching 8 minutes into the second quarter, 19 plays 10. The Cannons hold sway. Again, the boundary umpire comes in a long way. Throws it to the 50-metre line. Good tap over to Sutton. Can't take it. Now Gilby takes a bounce to balance. Arches his back and just took, not holding the ball. Yeah.
The umpire from 50 metres away paid that, and the other one called play on. So conflict of stories there, but the right decision was made, which you'd rather see the right decision in the end. Holding the ball, couldn't have been anything else.
Holding the ball, 101
and
that
great
was.
tackle by Ramsey.
Good chase. Here's a chance for the Cannons. This is Cardillo. Kicks around the Johnny Horner and hits the point post on the full. Resultant free kick to the Eastern Rangers Maddo.
Just need to hit up a couple of targets, I think, here. Not blaze away the Eastern Rangers. And they do the exact opposite. High ball towards the outer side. Ball off hands. Get it to the centre wing on the outer side. Mark taken by Mellis. Centering ball was risky. Good mark taken there from Simpson. Gets the handball to the big man, Hodgkin, who gave it back. A little one over the top. Simpson's able to take it at half forward. Toe pokes it inside 50 to Cardillo. Up against the boundary line. Centres the ball. Sutton hovering. Couldn't claim it. Tries to apply the tackle. They get the handball here, the Rangers, to the big man in Smith. It's further afield for them. Little toe poke over the top from Downey. Hits up the target in Saligo. Defensive side of the broadcast wing. Gets to Zalek. In the shadows of the grandstand here at Avalon Airport Oval. Goes down the boundary line. It's close to it. Newman caught. Unable to do much with it. We'll get a ball up.
Something needs to happen in this game. Don't know what it is. A great goal or a great mark or a great run, something.
Better passages and link up. Better link up.
Stapleton is the one that initiated the chain of handballs. Gilby, he takes it, gets caught, coughs it up. Ramsey, high ball to the centre wing here for the Calder Cannons. No one able to take a ball over the boundary line and out of play.
You could have marked that, Siobhan.
Right in front of her.
At least Spoil put a fist in.
So we throw it in, centre wing broadcast side. 9-point advantage to the Calder Cannons. Comes out the back to Sonsi. He puts it inside 50, a little bit of space. Did he get him fringed? He did.
Can't take him from front on.
Jamison Rossiter. That was a nice passage of play there. Straight out of the ruck in the hands of Sonsi, who sends it forward.
Happy with that.
Unfortunately, Newman just infringing the contest there, and it ends up in the hands of Jamison Rossiter. Just to bring it back to 3 points. Towards the halfway point of this second term. Geez, he dobbed at that. Has it beat everyone? It did. Don't know how.
Lucky with the Shepherd, because Calder were going to touch that on the line.
Well, they should have
really
touched it.
dabbed at it. Got to kick through it.
That was worth about 4 points, not 6. It was just a little dibbly kick.
3, I think.
Not the best kick I've seen for God, but they all count. There's not enough room on the score sheet to put how you got it, just if you got it.
13 goals for the season now for Jamison Rossiter. So he was a Vic Metro representative, played 2 games for them during the championships a little earlier in the year.
All right, back in the middle, 12 and a half minutes in, 3-1-19 plays 2-4-16. Up she goes, good toss-up. Cannons, Soldy's made into trouble there. Again, jumps on it. Ugly passage of play, whistle blown, umpire will come in to clear again. Up they go. Rangers, nice smother. Eventually they force the ball forward through Daniel Mott. Good punch by Harrison Jones. Easton, Gilby, Malice, cross to Downey. He releases, kicks to half forward. Oh, good defensive punch. They're still on here, Saligo. He kicks into the pocket, but it is all Calder Cannons. And they will repel. Gonna switch play. This has got danger written all over it. And Lachlan Stapleton takes the intercept mark at centre half forward.
The right idea, poor execution.
A couple of indirected kicks, wasn't it? The kick inside 50 was off the side of the boot. And again, coughing it up. Costly mistake, just cost you goals. You'd tip Lockie Stapleton from in front.
Stapleton, the left footer, directly in front, is going to kick it from 40 metres out. Just kicks it to absolute perfection. Rangers get 2 in a row and take the lead. 3-4-22 to 3-1-19. 14 and a half minutes into the second term.
Be interesting to see how the Cannons respond here, because you can feel the Rangers are getting their tails up here and could surge at this moment. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the centre bounce and what the Cannons can do to stop them.
strange passage of play from ground level. It's almost as if they were playing kick to kick, but the Eastern Rangers were the beneficiary and are now in front on the scoreboard.
They are. They've grinded their way to the lead. Hasn't been pretty footy in this second term.
I think it'll be important 10 minutes of footy this. It's not much on the scoreboard, but if there's a couple of goals either way, could mean a bit at the end before half-time.
Could turn ugly or could be a cracking contest. I think you're right, Rick. This next 10 minutes is going to set the rest of the game up. Forward here. Sally on the broadcast side of the ground. Long ball inside 50. Off hands. Rangers doing well. Hurahan fires the handball backwards. They'll switch it to Mellis. Still inside defensive 50, broadcast side. Gilby pleading for it, ignored.
Oh, good choice.
Brilliant choice in the end. Josh Clark takes the mark. Oh, he's got runners on the outer side. Downey sprinting for it, takes it cleanly, has support in black over the top, but just coughed it up at the crucial moment. Cannon's able to fire it back towards half forward. Cardillo. It's a wobbly one inside 50. Sutton chasing it. Navigates traffic beautifully. They get it back to Minton Connell. Goes long in the Fletcher direction, punched out of his hands. Rangers keep the ball in play. And will come out of defensive 50 once more in the direction of Saligo on the centre wing. Ball punched over the boundary line and out of play.
I asked for the game to open up, and what's happened?
I tell you, just before Giacomo Thomas there had a 2-on-1 situation, Giacomo.
I think it's Yakimo.
And he beat two opponents, so that could have got easily scored from that passage of play, but beat him on his own.
Rangers, Gilby, kicks along the line, ball in dispute, good courage. They're trying to get it out, that's holding the ball. He hung on to it. Chase Black.
Gilby's getting plenty of the ball, but at the moment he's been caught a couple of times. Ill-directed kick then. If he can get the footy and use it, he's really stamping his name on this game at the minute.
Mitch Mellis, talking of someone stamping their name on the game. Pure class, the number 11. They go forward and mark taken.
They've clicked into gear now.
Zach Pretty gives it back to Downey. Downey kicks to the goal square and they've got a mark. A little bit of body work seen as permissible, and Lachlan Gall has taken the mark right on the goal line, directly in front. Rick's happily marked this one down. Lockie Gall, couple of steps, straight through the middle. That's his first, Rangers fourth. 4-4-28 to 3-1-19, 18 minutes into the second term.
You mentioned before how Gilby was pleading for the football. So was the captain there, James Ross, when the mark was taken around that 50. He came storming down, followed up his work, and then kicked it. The kick wasn't fantastic, but it got the end result. So they want the footy. That's what the message is at the moment that they're showing us, the Rangers. They're asking for the footy, and they're running in numbers.
Lockie Gall invited to the Victorian State Draft Combine in 2019. He's played, this is his 6th game in the NAB League season, averages 12 touches a game. Really? Has a goal on the board today.
Rangers players up and about on the bench after that goal. James Ross, who kicked the ball to Lockie Gall after he kicked it and the mark was taken, yelled out, "Come on," and everyone's really pumped up in the Rangers camp down here.
So the Cannons, they need a response before we head to the major break. They go forward here. Fletcher, clever with the fists. Good pressure inside 50 here from the Cannons to lock it up.
That punch, secondary punch, had his father's name written all over it.
Apart from the hair, everything else, and the fact he hasn't got 31 on his back, and he's forward. Although that's where he started, didn't he, Dustin Fletcher? There's plenty of appeals here from the Rangers for holding the footy. Caught was Jake Sutton. We'll get another ball up. just inside the arc. Jones' kick was smothered. The Rangers, they were trying to get it to Gilby again. He slipped.
Oh, good handball.
Cardillo flicked it across to his teammate. The kick must have been touched off the boot. Jones now under pressure. Gives the ball to Sutton. His kick is good. And a goal. Not that they desperately needed it, but they needed a steadier, the Calder Cannons. As the goal umpire's just waiting for the all clear to be given, I think. He's still searching for it. There it is.
Good drama.
Just a bit of theatre there.
Got his face on camera.
It was great drama. It was a very slick handball out there that set that goal up on the deck. Good work by the Cannons. All of a sudden, the game's picked up in the second half of this quarter.
Yep.
Quick injury update from ground level. Jared Gilby, number 12 for the Eastern Rangers, looks to have hurt his shoulder and he's come from the ground in the hands of the trainers.
Well, thanks for keeping an eye on that. Siobhan Rowe running the boundary for us today. Ball thrown up in the middle. In the shadows of half-time, Rangers clear the ball through Stapleton. Long kick up forward. Bouncing. They need to get a slipper on it. Can't do it. Rush through for a behind. 4-5-29. Place 4-1-25. 21 and a half minutes in. Cannons to bring the ball in. They go short into the pocket. Play on straight away. They're looking for the big fella in Hodgkin. Can't quite take it. Big Smith lumbers into him like two big trees in a forest, just cannoning into each other. Free kick going Easton's way. It is Jonty Duffy. Duffy, the left footer, raking kick up forward. They fly. Cannons clear it. Plenty of pressure. Over the back. Now they get it out the back. Handball over the top. Not a lot of room for error.
Talk about hospital ball. That was one. Wasn't a high ball, but he had nowhere to go.
Working in a confined space. Like trying to get a park in Flinders Lane on a Friday night about 5 o'clock. Ball to be thrown in. Right bang on centre wing, right in front of the comm box. Beautifully taken by the cameras here. A little bit of jumper tugging there. They get the ball out, Calder. It's a long kick up forward. Comes off his May West. They follow up. Payer. Advantage. No advantage. Would have been a goal. Ball's going to come back to Sam Paella. There's no L on it, so I can't call it Paella. Although I don't mind a bit of Paella.
Nice dish.
Oh,
Spanish.
Yes. South Melbourne Market, if you're ever down there, Rick, with your girlfriend, you can get her some nice paella. Sam, here's the word for it. Just kicks it nicely to the goal square. They need a mark. Fletcher flies. Comes to ground. They try to keep it in. And the ball will be thrown in. 23 and a half minutes in, close to the break.
We'll see if we can get Fletcher a stat, because he hasn't got one as yet. A possession.
He's got plenty of fists. It's Calder trying to navigate through traffic. That was Gentili. Rangers' last line of defence. Bring it wide. I was searching there for Edwards. Going to run out of room. He's under immense pressure there, Edwards. So we'll toss the ball in. 50 out from goal for the Calder Cannons, under a minute left in this second term and first half of the second game of our triple header at Avalon Airport Oval, featuring all 6 Victorian metropolitan sides. Minton Connell inside 50, was in the Fletcher direction. In front of him though, Billy McCormick takes the mark. 197 centimetres. Billy McCormick. Lobs one up towards the centre wing. Newman setting himself, takes the mark. The skipper for the Cannons. One last roll of the dice for the first half of footy. Rangers will clear. And that'll do things.
Just nicely.
Took the words right out of my mouth, Crooksy.
4-5-29 the Eastern Rangers. The Cannons are 4-1-25. A 4-point difference. Rangers definitely winning that quarter. Quickly the goal kickers, Matt.
For the Eastern Rangers, coming in that quarter, Lockie Stapleton, Jamison Rossiter and Lachlan Gould, the goal kickers from that second term, plus Ben Pickleton getting her first score on the board for the Eastern Rangers earlier in the game. For the Calder Cannons, Jake Sutton, Jackson Cardillo, Curtis Brown and Harrison Jones, the goal kickers.
We'll take a break here from Avalon Airport Oval. Half time, it is the Rangers by 4 points.
I said, well, I spoke to Jared about it. Tell
ringing, I thought I'd better. I was actually going to bell tank you down, but right here you can see.
No.
Welcome back to Avalon Airport Oval. It is half-time in the second of the triple header. The Eastern Rangers lead it by 4 points, 4-5-29 to 4-1-25. And just looking at the ladder in our NAB League app, as we're going to introduce our guest for this quarter. Just looking, the Cannons can advance. If they can win this game, get to 10 wins, 40 points, and Sandy happen to lose the next one, they'll jump up into fourth spot. And a man with an absolute vested interest in that would be their talent manager, Tom Lonigan, who has joined us. Tom, we'll flick his microphone round there beautifully. You've got Matthew in the middle there and Phil. How are you, Tom?
Boys, how are you?
Good. I'll get Rick just to fix your thing there for you.
Getting worried about
Rick.
Getting worried about Rick dealing with technology. We saw how well it went before with the app when he was trying to get the stats up.
That's what you want. Get it around the cord, Rick. There you go. Beautiful. There you on there, Tom?
How are we going now?
Yeah, we're going as good as gold, mate. What about yourself?
Good. All going well. We're pretty happy with the start. Best team in the competition, the Rangers. So we're happy with the pressure we've applied, and we hope we can match it with the second half. It's going to be a big second half, and obviously you guys said for us to win this game, and if Oakley knock off Sandy, we get into fourth.
And that just makes that wild card round next weekend just those degree easier to sort of get yourself a good spot in the final eight.
Yeah, well, that's the idea is for us to go as high as we can and as long as we can in the finals and expose our guys to the big games. So that's what they all want to play in, and every recruiter in the country is out watching. So it's a good opportunity for them to display their talents. Before we get into the boys and the team, your journey. So you fill some pretty big boots out at Calder. We had a lot to do with Ian Kite over the period. He used to give us absolute hell, Tom. Me in particular. Right. Over a long period of time out at Rams Arena. How have you found the role in your first year?
I've really enjoyed it. It's been a lot of fun. A lot different to kicking the footy, going with my teammates into training every day and playing football. That's for sure. You're dealing with so many different stakeholders, players first and foremost, AFL recruiters. You've got the parents. There's a bit of commercial element to it as well. So it's it's a really challenging job and but really rewarding too.
What's the biggest challenge that you've come across in the opening year, and what's been the biggest pleasure for you?
Oh, look, it's, I went through, during my time coming up through the ranks is going through squad selection. So telling kids that they haven't made it this year and leaving guys out of the side, that's always hard, and everyone always wants to play and be a part of the team. So that's hard. So just managing that's been challenged, but I've enjoyed it. I think I think if you build personal relationships with these guys, it makes it a whole lot easier. I think having the girls involved is something that I've really enjoyed. Being able to go along and see the enthusiasm that they bring to the game. Something I haven't probably been involved with too much, but the girls show so much enthusiasm, and that's what we all come and play the game for.
Location-wise for you, Tom, where do you live, like in the northwest area, or you got to travel, or?
I'm just 25 minutes down the road, still in Geelong. So come up to Craigieburn a few days a week and spend a day or two at home. A lot of it's done over the phone and email these days. So, obviously get in to make sure I'm in for training and see all the players and all that on the days we need to be there. But, it's quite okay, the travel. Usually leave out at peak, so don't get the bottleneck here at Laverton. But it's been quite enjoyable.
You have enjoyed, and you've got Ross Smith as coach. Did your paths cross on the when you were playing footy?
No, they didn't actually. He actually coached at Geelong as an assistant late 90s or early 2000s. So I come in 2002. So I missed him there. I think he was there for a year. Then he went to the opposite, the arch rivals, the Hawks. So he was a part of the Hawthorn coaching group during 2008. When we lost to them, so he claims that one. He always gives me a bit of stick about. That reminds me of that. Brings out the footage every so often.
That wouldn't be like Hawthorn to remind you of that one.
But look, he's been fantastic for the boys. He knows the game really well, and he's obviously learned a lot from Alistair Clarkson as well, and he's got that hard nose, hard edge to him, but he knows when to be a little bit softer at times as well.
And get through.
Jordan Jaworski getting our first goal for the second half for the Eastern Rangers. They extend their lead by 10 points. The pathway compared to when you came through, Tom, it's almost been a full circle, if you like. You've come back to the Calder Cannons where your journey started. What's the biggest difference, apart from the professionalism that's obviously become involved in footy generally, what's been the biggest change in your eyes?
Yeah, I think back in when I was coming through the Cannons, not once did I speak to an AFL club during the season, whereas a lot of these guys out here now would have spoken to clubs 3-4 times already. So it's something that that would have been quite nerve-wracking. I remember that the first I only had at the national draft camp, spoke to all the clubs then, but that was after the season. These guys are speaking to AFL clubs midweek, so being able to go through that, and obviously really nerve-wracking time for them, and have to really present well, and then having to come out the next weekend and play footy and make sure your performance is up to scratch. A lot of pressure on these guys. The other one's the social media. I think back in 2002 there wasn't no NAB League app or anything like that. There was no stats to show how many stats you got, kicks or marks you got. These guys have to deal with all that. They know their schoolmates are seeing how they went on the weekend via the app, and fair bit of bit of an area. I think at the moment it's been a big change, and the AFL is really pushing is the whole mental welfare and ensuring that not just AFL players but kids out here are getting the right resources.
Yep. Cannons on the break here. They go towards Sutton, who's all by himself in the goal square, takes the mark. And we'll have a shot from point blank range. What can you tell us about Jake Sutton?
Yeah, Jake wasn't a part of our squad last year. He was left out right at the last sort of cut, I guess, late last year, and wasn't a part of the squad. Went back to Sunbury, had a really good year as a bottom Asia, kicked a lot of goals and played off in the grand final. I think kicked quite a few goals, 4 or 5, 6 maybe he might have even kicked, and got back on the radar of Cannons recruiters, and then he came back in and was really, really solid during the pre-season, had a really great pre-season. His games during the trial phase, I think he kicked 4 and he had 3 games of 4 goals and set up quite a few, so he was a really easy selection for us. His form early in the season was quite good, and then had a partial ACL tear actually, which kept him out middle part of the year for about 7 or 8 weeks. And then we weren't sure whether we were going to get him back in the team, but his form was too good at local level, got back in, and he's been performing really well.
The Cannons clear, but over the boundary line. A couple of father-sons in the team. Obviously, I'll fess up. Well, we both are. We're both Bombers, but Mason Fletcher,
yep,
and Minton Connell.
Yes,
this is Simon Minton Connell's son. How are they going?
Yeah, look, Mace he's come back to footy this year after an injury-riddled 2018. Had a lot of back issues last year, which led to him missing the whole year. Did a lot of work at Essendon, which they strengthened his back muscles up, and he was able to straighten. He had quite a hunch, and they were able to straighten him up quite a bit. I think it might have added a couple of centimetres to his height as well. Big boy, still really raw and underdeveloped. Needs still a fair bit of gym work. He's come in and been really competitive for us up forward. Still got a bit unsure what position, whether it's his back or forward at the moment. We're working through that, but look, he's got so much room for growth and development that I'm sure he'll play some good footy. Maybe not in the near future, but over the coming years.
Time.
Yep. So
the ball's forced through for a rush behind, and Harrison Minton Connell.
Yeah, Harry's he's our vice captain. Really great kid, competitive bugger. He's played majority of his year at Pegs, so we've only had him for probably 6 or 7 games, which is a little bit disappointing. We would love to have him for the whole year, but anyway, that's what school footy is. It sort of restricts you in that path, I guess. But look, the games he's come in and played, he's been our #1 midfielder. You know, always banking. He's going to get 25 plus possessions, 7 or 8 plus clearances. So contested ball and one of our key midfielders.
And a player just involved in that passage of play, swatting it over the boundary line. The skipper, Brodie Newman, just been real solid in defensive 50 as the Rangers look to attack.
Yeah, Broads he's our captain. Great leadership, fantastic leadership potential. Works his absolute bum off before and after training and during training, and player that boys really gravitate to. Natural leader. He's got a bit of work to do in a few areas of his game, but he realises that. He's really open to feedback, and he's working really hard.
Given the nature of your role when you were playing your days down in Geelong, do you have much to do with him in terms of working on his defensive craft? Yeah,
look, I don't want to step on the toes of the coaches we've got, because we've got some fantastic coaches down there, assistant coaches that know a lot about the game, but I try to just help him on little things here and there. Body position, whether you start forward or back, if you're playing on a smaller or a bigger player, those type of things. And a real area of his strength of his game is his marking ability. So always just trying to ensure that he's in the best position to go for his marks.
Ball tossed in on the centre wing. Ramsey shuffling it forward for the Calder Cannons. It's a hot footy. Sutton tried to dish the handball backwards. O'Sullivan lurking. A little shuffle kick forward. Just chaotic. Minton Connell all wrapped up. The umpire says, give it to me, I will ball it up. You've got a couple of players that have been selected as part of the National Draft Combine. Daniel Mott, #1 for the side. Also played 4 games for Vic Metro. How have you seen his development over the course of the season?
Yeah, Motty's he's been really consistent for us, and the games he played with Metro he was really consistent. His skills are elite, both foot, both feet. He kicks the ball really well. His game awareness is also super elite. His hands in tight. He does a lot of, you'll find him at the bottom of the packs most of the time. He's the one that gets the ball out to the outside, so he does a lot of really grunt work for us, hard inside work.
just trying to add another sort of string to his bow and get him in that forward position, see if he can kick a few goals for us as well. So I think his carnival was reasonable without sort of shooting the lights out, but he was quite consistent, and hopefully the next 3 or 4 weeks leading into finals he can play some really good roles for us.
So a lovely mark taken by Harrison Jones in the forward line to give Calder back the lead, approaching 10 minutes into this third term. He'd be on a 35 to 40 degree angle. Perfect day for footy here at Werribee. You back him in, Tom?
Yeah, he's a beautiful set shot. Hopefully a little bit of right to left here. No, not that time.
Just need a little bit more right to left.
Yeah.
Welcome to the
now you're a real commentator,
commentator,
Tom. You've done it. That's what we did. You're initiated now.
I was on K-Rock last week, and I every time the Cats got it, I said, yeah, he'll kick this. Tommy Hawkins, he'll kick it. I think he hit 0 and 4. It's the first time he's kicked 0 and 4 in his whole career.
He's the other player that's been invited to the National Draft Combine. What's impressed you with his development over the year?
Yeah, look, Harry's got huge potential. Another kid that plays a lot of footy at Pegs. Played majority of the year there between Pegs and Metro. I think we've only had him for about 3 or 4 games, but his ability to cover the ground is extraordinary. If you look at his GPS results post-game, you'll see that he's probably clocked up 14, 15 Ks, which is, it's a huge number for a player in this league. Tall kid, very athletic and mobile, got good pace, kicks the ball well. He's a really good player, and expecting big things for him in the future.
How do you, maybe not just you, Tom, not putting this on you, but these players like that, they're playing for Pegs, they're playing for Metro, they're playing for Calder Cannons, they're getting a lot of different voices, they're getting a lot of different teammates. Is that a help or a hindrance overall, do you think? Yeah,
look, it's probably not ideal in playing 3 or so different teams. You'd love to have them in your own team so you control exactly who's speaking to them, what resources and teaching we're giving them. But at the same time, a guy like Harry, he loves playing school footy with Pegs. So, I know the Pegs program's really strong there, led by their coach Clay Ullman. So, I'd stay in regular contact with Pegs and Clay and talk about Harry's development and what we've been doing, and share a lot of information. So that's I think where things have changed a fair bit throughout the sort of industry. I think NAB league teams understand that these kids are going to play school footy regardless, so there's no point fighting it. We might as well live with it and help each other. So we just try to share as much information as we can and make sure that he's developing the right way.
The Eastern Rangers, they tried to attack. In the end, ball cut off from Simpson. Flicks it wide for the Calder Cannons. Dribbling ball close to the boundary line. Kept in play. Minton Connell evades traffic. Puts it in the Sutton direction, just out of his grasp. Over the boundary line and out of play.
Certainly from the boundary line, the game has picked up in intensity and physicality. Plenty of big tackles being laid.
Siobhan Road covering the boundary line for us as part of round 17 NAB League Boys action. Tom Lonergan, talent manager of the Calder Cannons, joins us in the commentary box. The Cannons season in general been a little up and down, and in a way it's the position on the ladder just masks the consistency, I feel, of the side. You've had some great wins, but results where you probably would have wanted to win.
Yeah, I think early, our season started off really, really slow. We copped a real big whacking by Sandringham in round 1 and then had Oakley in round 2, which was probably a game we almost could have won. I think we ended up, it sort of broke open in the last sort of 5-10 minutes. They got out by 21 points, but it was a game with 10 minutes to go. I think we're up by 2 points, so that was a game where we thought we could have won. And then I think slowly it started building. We've had some losses which we felt we could have won, but then on the whole, I think we've been really, really pleased. We've been able to
develop a lot of younger kids. We haven't just played 18-year-olds. You see, even out here today, we've got 9, 17 or 16-year-old players, so which is really healthy for our list going forward. We're not just going to drop away next year. No, we've been really pleased with the games we've been able to win, and the position we've put ourselves in now.
Mason Fletcher taking the mark at centre half forward.
Who had the word with him at the start of the game to get out of the long sleeve jumper?
Yeah, we got Alex Clarkson in here to just to say a few words. I think that's a Hawthorn mantra, isn't it?
He's got that beautifully, Mason. It's got the depth of his father's kicking, and that gives the Cannons back the lead. 6-4, 40 to 5-7, 37, 15 minutes in. Players that have recently been drafted in recent years from the Cannons, have you had them back in to talk to the boys at all?
No, we haven't. I understand the commitments the AFL players.
Hard to get.
Yeah, very hard. Hard to get them, and they're obviously training pretty hard throughout the week. Then they've got other commitments, family and university.
I was thinking like a Riley West and a blokes that we've seen just recently.
Yeah.
I like Riley. I love seeing kids play in the under-18s, and then when they get to the AFL, they play exactly the same. Like Riley West plays exactly the same way as he did for Calder.
Yeah.
The same style of play. He hasn't been overcoached or whatever. Oh no, I don't know if overcoach is the right word. You know, he sort of plays his natural game.
Yeah. Yeah, look, I know the boys in the office talk regularly about Riley and his toughness in the contest. So it's a trait we love out at Calder, and we're always open to have those guys back.
I've always felt Calder have had a good brand of football on that Rams arena. They've always had that nice sweep off the halfback flank with long kicks to big guys up forward. They've always played a nice style.
We're inside 50 here, the Calder Cannons. And that one just a little astray. Mark taken by Mitch Mellis. Inside defensive 50. It's a wide kick. Downey with his work to do, did well. Go towards half forward. Searching for Jaworski, ball to ground. Taken here Zalek. And we should get a ball up half forward now for the Eastern Rangers, who trail by 3 points.
A slight breeze coming towards the right-hand side of the ground. Not very impactful, but may have helped Fletcher just then when he kicked that goal from long range.
As the Rangers go incredibly short to Zalek, who takes it directly in front, 40 metres out. Just had too much space there, didn't he?
Yeah, it was just a bit too much there. We were back. Brad Murphy, the backline coach, would be cursing the box at the moment.
This would put the Eastern Rangers back in front. Zalek kicks it from 45 metres out and straight over the top of the goal umpire's hat for his first. So Rangers move to 6-7-43, Cannons 6-4-40. If you were to turn to a player, Tom, to create some spark and drive, which we were mentioning during the second term, the game was just lacking that little something, the X factor. Who would it be that you'd turn to out there?
Oh, look, probably the guy with the biggest heart out there, and he's in the midfield there at the moment, so I'm glad he's in there. Ned Gentile, he's a tough little bugger, and he's got some speed, and he knows where the goals is. So we hope in the next 6 minutes or so he can provide some of that.
Ball in the middle, wrapped up, holding the man. Free kick Calder's way. No one on manning the mark. Long kick up forward. They need a mark. Ball spills, comes to the front. Sutton flicks the handball out. Quick kick up forward in the square. Might have been a free kick there. Not paid. Kicked over. Through for a behind. Overcooked it. Minton Connell. Might have been a bit stiff there, Tom, in the goal square.
Yeah.
Yeah, thought he might have got dragged down there, Big Mace.
Rangers, back pocket. Goes in short. There is McCormack. McCormack kicks to centre wing. They fly. Handball just to a voice. Rangers got numbers, got the footy. Scramble it forward. It's an open forward line. Calder get back in numbers. Kick up high. Comes off hands of the pack. They're off to the races. This is Simpson. Into the pocket and will be thrown in. Matthew. 20 minutes in, 2 points Rangers way.
You mentioned before you've got a good crop of 17 and 16-year-olds coming through. Who are some of the names we should be keeping a very close eye on heading towards the 2020 and 2021 drafts?
Yeah, well, the guys we've got out here today, Campbell Edwards, he's out there. He's number 29 out there. Yeah, he's about 6'5", playing on the wing at the moment. He's got a basketball background.
6'5" and he's playing on a wing.
Yeah. That's the type
That's incredible.
The type of player these days that can play multiple positions. But he's got a fair bit of development to do. But he's got some very good traits. Really clean ball use, nice kick of the footy. Got those long levers so they can mark it at the highest point. So he's one to hopefully has a big pre-season, comes back and have a real big impact for us.
Sutton puts it through for the Cannons. Geez, it's a seesawing affair at the moment here at Avalon Airport Oval. Cannons back in front, 7-5-47, plays 6-7-43.
Jackson Cardillo's another one, 185 centimetre midfielder. He's in there at the moment, number 3. He's played every game for us this year, so they'll hold him in good stead moving forward. Inside mid and can go forward and kick a goal. Jack Keeping, he's a 186 sort of utility. We use him on the predominantly forward. He's forward at the moment there with the blue boots, I think. He's played back, wing, and midfield. So he's another player that can play in multiple positions, which we know recruiters love. Giacomo Thomas, he's played a really good game for us today. He's a small back, got elite speed. Number 31, he defends really well. He didn't start in our best team this year, but he's worked his way in through some really good performances at local level. Got enormous speed, can really close down an opponent on the lead. So he's one we'll look to develop and maybe move through the midfield next year. Josh Eyre is another one who's out there, number big 41. He's 195 centimetre. He's a beautiful runner. Runs, he's our best probably 200 or 300 metre runner in pre-season. He's always ahead of the group. Yeah, he got an elite endurance. Just needs to work a bit on his speed and a few other little things in his game. But he's come off a pretty injury-riddled year last year, so he's played about 7 or 8 games for us now. So hopefully that leads to a really good platform into pre-season. Who else we got? We got Flynn Gentile, he's a 16-year-old. He's number 45 out there. He's a wing player. He's the brother of Ned. He's about 177. Got some really good outside speed. Clean ball user. So he's played, I think this is his third or so game at the moment, so that's really good experience for him. And the other 16-year-old that's Jackson Cardillo there. It's one of our 17s there.
Good call, Tom. You tipped us into him.
Yes. There now. It's a nice mark, isn't it?
It is good.
Cracking mark.
Third in line.
And the other 16-year-old we've got is number 44, Harrison Andronico. He wasn't on the radar at all for us and didn't make the Metro under-16 team, but
when the 16-year-olds were up there for the Metro Carnival, he got his opportunity, come in the team and played some brilliant footy for us, especially that pressure forward, kept the ball in, laid some tackles, and he's one we're really excited for next year as well. So I think I've covered a fellow. Sammy Payers also, he's number 16, he's the second ruckman at the moment. Really good athlete, overhead mark. So we've got some, we're really excited, and then on top of the 16-year-old kids that were involved at the National Carnival up at Queensland this year.
Shadows of three-quarter time. Cannon's got one last chance. No, kick smothered. Rangers trying to clear the footy. Caught in the tackle. Nice release, and three-quarter time. It is Calder 7-6-48 to the Rangers 6-7-43. They're going to take a 5-point lead into the last quarter. Tom, thanks for taking time, which is obviously a busy time for you guys. We know you're multitasking the whole time. There's always something happening. So thanks for taking half an hour out just to have a chat to us and introduce. And good luck for the rest of the game, and good luck for the rest of September.
No worries. Thanks, guys. It's been enjoyable.
Good on you,
Cheers.
Tom.
Good on you.
Tom Lonigan, their talent manager for the Calder Cannons. And at three-quarter time, it is the Cannons by 5 points. We'll be back on the other side of this for the exciting last quarter.
So I'm getting an interview with Ross Smith, the coach of Calder Cannons. I'll let you know when he hasn't even come down yet, but once he's ready to talk, I'll let you know. on the ground with the coach of the Calder Cannons, Ross Smith, evenly poised. You've got your heads just in front. You must be proud of the way the boys are playing.
Yeah, we've been able to match their intensity. They're a very competitive and contested style team. We've been able to match them in the stoppages. That quarter we really got back on top. But the contested ball and the tackle numbers have been a little bit even. And we're happy with that because that's the sort of style they play. And if we can match them in that again on the last quarter, which we've sort of done for 3, it should be close towards the end and give us a chance to win it.
Yeah, you've certainly been very good in the contest. Was that your main message, to keep that up the same in the last quarter to get the win?
Yeah, absolutely. The stats will say that as well. We've matched them in the really critical areas, the areas of the game where they're strong. And now we just want to get that ball forward and take advantage of we get a bit of an advantage in our height. So we're going to try and win that contested ball inside and get the ball to our forwards as much as we possibly can and hopefully take a few grabs.
Part of that's due to the game of Gentili and Mott. You must be really proud of the way they're playing.
Yeah, our big 18-year-olds, our inside mids have really stood up, and it's really important that they stand up and set the example for the 17-year-olds as well.
Thank you for your time and good luck for the rest of the game.
Good work there, Siobhan, talking to Ross Smith. And wasn't he a toughie on the halfback flank for the Kangaroos?
Really good player over the years, Ross Smith. Definite halfback flanker, wasn't he?
Yeah, halfback, and just one of those typical hard nut, Damien Hardwick like. Last quarter action here. It is the Cannons by 5 points. Take it away, Rick. That'll be Matthew.
Get a ball up. Dusting off the cobwebs beautifully. Yeah. So the Cannons will hurry it forward. Fletcher just pushed underneath it, all fair. Minton Connell and now Sutton. Oh, did nicely to get it out of traffic. Ramsey, flying shot, touched on the line. Minor score.
I would love to have got a goal early there.
Now, I'm not sure if you boys are familiar with the NAB League app and how it operates, but
how does it operate,
I've discovered,
Rick?
I've been shown a feature that it's now up and running. I don't know if you've discovered it, the highlights feature.
I'm still working on the wildcard round. Rick, go on.
Have you noticed the highlights feature on the app at the moment?
No, I haven't. Tell me more about
it's
it.
well worth a look. So it'll be uploaded at the end of a game, so give or take a few days, but you can type in a player. If you want to see Matt Rowell play NAB League footy,
yep,
and it'll have his highlights for each game.
Oh, fantastic.
So for recruiters, people like us that are trying to catch up every now and then with all the other games that are on, and just the general public, you can follow your favourites and get their highlight reel from each game.
So that's going to play more and more importantly as you get close and you know where your team is on the ladder, where you finish. So just say, the Bombers finish 10th or something, you're going to be pick 8.
Yep.
You can say, so who's the blokes pick 8? And you look up all the draft prospects and guides and you start to work out who's who in the zoo.
So while you're on the couch tonight, have a play with a Crooksy, pick out one of your favourites and you'll be able to have a look at their highlight reel from each match that they've played in the NAB League on the NAB League app.
Fantastic. Mitch Mellis goes forward for the Eastern Rangers. The ball flicks out wide. This is Downey. Goes in short, just misses the target. Cannons mop up, caught in a pack, stacks on the middle, and the umpire will ball it up. Who's going to win from here? Rick?
The Cannons are hanging in there, but I've thought it all through the game that the Rangers would overpower them, but it hasn't happened yet, so I give the Cannons a huge chance here.
Jeremy O'Sullivan, strong grab. Cannons work it into the middle of the ground. It's a loose footy. Who can take it? Nice grab, one-handed. Tell you, he's run about 35 metres there and kicked backwards, and the mark is taken. He got away with blue murder there?
There's no doubt.
And now that was encroachment.
I'm sure you'd be able to measure it on the NAB League app as well.
Can you find that for us and tell us where it is, Rick?
Look under the features of theodolite, Rick. That'll be able to do it. A surveyor's pencil. All right, Eastern Rangers. This is Jordan Jaworski. JJ. He kicks to half forward. Comes off hands of the pack. Oh, slips over at the most inopportune time. Perhaps opens the door for the Rangers. They force it into that forward pocket, but just can't control the footy, and it's over the boundary line and out of bounds. Forward pocket, Southern or Geelong end, or Avalon Airport end, if we go with the naming rights sponsor of the ground.
Well, the swimming pool end, is that a swimming pool down behind there?
Down there, yep.
There's Jaworski hovering. Black. Jaworski tried to get the handball across to Pretty, but he ran out of room. We'll get a boundary throw in. Forward pocket.
I mentioned a couple of times Hodgkin was playing a kick behind the play earlier, the ruckman. Now the opposite's doing it. Riley Smith doing it at centre wing as well, while his opponent's contesting the ruck.
And he's currently spare here too, the big man for the Eastern Rangers. Great tackle laid on by his opposite number, Josh Hodgkin, in the thick of things. Great tackle from the big man. 200 centimetres. It's one thing Calder have lacked in the last couple of years, some solid big targets.
Since 2 metre Peter.
Yep. Haven't really had...
I did have Noah Bolger at centre half forward, but he played up.
He's more
a bit
mobile.
Yep.
Yeah. Similar role that he still carries with Richmond.
And Mitch Lewis, but he, of course, working away at Hawthorn and Box Hill he was.
So hurry kick away from the contest is going to dribble over the boundary line and out of play. 6 points. And as Crooksy mentioned a little earlier, Cannons get a victory today and the Dragons lose. Cannons will move into 4th spot, which means they'll play the Geelong Falcons next week in wildcard round, which is exactly the same as what happened this time last year. Cannons played the Falcons and the Falcons won, being the lowest side on the ladder on that occasion. So the Rangers go forward again. Bit of manhandling going on in the goal square, as the umpire says, give it to me, I'll ball it up.
Was that the coldest day we've ever had at the footy? Was it when you were coming?
No, I was there for that one.
Yeah, that was a colder day that day when we were downstairs. Upstairs,
No, there was one upstairs.
upstairs was pretty cold.
Unfortunately, got held up at Cairns Airport that day.
That's right.
Missed that one.
No, there was a day when before the stand got built, we called it Ballarat. That was ridiculous.
Don't mention it.
I'm a bit fresh in here today.
It's one of our favourite road trips, all the same, the Ballarat one.
I love it, Mars Stadium.
Fantastic ground and facilities there.
Brown bouncing out of the back pocket. Geez, that's very close to the line. It's going to be out on the full. So the Rangers, they're locking it in their forward end of the ground, but they're not impacting the scoreboard.
Not even close.
They don't look like scoring at the moment.
Mark Smith drop what's probably should have been taken. Cannons just trying to work it out with traffic, in traffic, by hand, hugging the boundary, and finds the safety of it.
That was the best option at that stage. They were outnumbered and nowhere to run. So they'll be able to set up again here, the Cannons.
Ball to be thrown in.
Haven't always wore the striped socks either, have they, the Cannons?
I think they have. It just looks a bit different with the white Guernsey, Rick.
Okay.
I think when they've got the navy blue with the orange, you don't sort of notice it as much. Ball brought back in. This is Sonsi. Is that a reasonable game? Told to play on. A little bit indecisive. And he decided to kick it out of bounds on
someone
the
on the bench there.
Not the best move. They go forward. They look like they've got a bit of intent here. Minton Connell looking for Fletcher. Can't quite mark it. Sonsi dragged off the footy. Quick hands. Under a heap of pressure. They're doing well under pressure. Now Carrillo. Cardillo.
He did well to allow him to tackle him there, because he had it disposed of it quickly, would have been coughed up again. So they get another stoppage, which is what they want.
They get the ball out. They're looking for Mott close to the boundary line, working the ball around. They're just moving the ball around to their end.
The game's still missing that X factor, isn't it?
There's something there. There's something missing. Down. Handball. This is Clark that kicks it forward to centre wing. Intercepted. Nice work by the Cannons. They kick it into the corner. Sutton. He handballs it. Gets collared. Handballs it straight out of bounds. 9.5 minutes in. Again, the boundary umpire comes in. It's a good 10 or 15 metres in. Gives it a good heave backwards. Smith. And advantage. Oh, Cannons everywhere here. Didn't quite hit the target. Easton, Clark almost collared. Works into traffic, kicks under pressure. Up they fly. Great mark taken there by Campbell Edwards. Edwards on the left, but he's got Cannons galore. Whatever the collective noun of Cannons is, he had it. That'll be something for you to look up, Rick, if you could. Google that for me, a collective noun of Cannons.
They're not animals, Crooksy.
You can have a collective noun of anything, Rick. But
Case,
can you?
Case full of cannons?
Case of cannons? A battery of cannons. Maybe. I'm not sure. But while we work it out, this is Jeremy O'Sullivan. This to give a little 2-goal buffer to the Cannons halfway during this last quarter. O'Sullivan comes in, kicks. Yes, it has. It's come back the right way. That is a lovely goal, Jeremy O'Sullivan. Well worked out. And that moves the Cannons on to 8-7-55 to the Rangers 6-7-43. And we are 11 minutes in on the time clock.
Jeremy O'Sullivan's been invited to the Victorian State Draft Combine. Played, well, this is his 14th game of the season and now up to 13 goals. From St Bernard's.
St Bernard's boy.
Has recently had a birthday too, 10th of August.
Many happy returns of the day, Jeremy. Good way to celebrate. Kick a good goal in the last quarter of a tight football match.
Important goal too. 2-goal buffer. Eastern Rangers now need 3. They'll get the clearance here. Long ball inside 50. Newman was able to get a hand to it. Ball will dribble over the boundary line and out of play. So we're ticking towards the halfway point of this final term.
The Rangers are going to have to get on their bike.
They're pushing at the moment. 2-goal deficit. They're going to have to do something pretty quickly.
So it's thrown in. Tap one straight down. Mellis gave the handball out of the contest. Duffy hovering. Couldn't lay claim to it. Hurry kick from Simpson away from the contest. Going to be marked by Chase Black. Just inside 50. Of course, the son of Heath Black opens up the angle a little bit. It's a centering ball. The big man flew and brought it in. Riley Smith will have a shot for goal from about 20 metres out.
I reckon his stats were taken, his tail of the tape was taken at the start of the year. I reckon he's put on a bit. In a good way. I reckon he's got taller and heavier. He's a big fella.
Smith comes in. Ooh, just squeezed it.
It's just what they needed, isn't it? Now the goal, the difference.
7-7-49 the Eastern Rangers to 8-7-55 the Calder Cannons. Just past the halfway mark of the last quarter.
He read that all the way in there to take that grab.
That was a seriously good mark, and it's certainly a team lifter. Hopefully the Rangers can take a lot of energy from that great pack mark.
They just need a spark. They got the last clearance, but no one's taken the game by the scruff of the neck. I'm looking at the number 7 at the moment. I reckon he might be able to do it.
Stapleton, yes. Back in the middle. Oh, good tap out for the Rangers. That was Hickleton. They go forward, caught in the tackle. They get it out to your man Stapleton, who streams at goal. Good call, Matto. You tipped that. Lockie Stapleton got on the end of it and nailed it through, and we have got the close one. It is 8-7-55 apiece, 14 minutes into the last quarter. And that was good play, set up by a lovely handball by Jonty Duffy. As we watch the replay, lovely tap out, Malice off the carpet. Quick little hands, not sure about the legitimacy of the handball, that found Duffy onto Stapleton, who nailed the kick. And it's game on.
Cracking goal. Cracking passage of play. And we're all square. And I think this is a infringement for the 6x6x6 rule, a warning given to the Eastern Rangers. 15-minute mark of the final term. They'll win the tap down again. Mellis desperate. Stapleton tackling. Cannons releasing. Towards centre half forward. It's an awkward bouncing footy. Works out in the Cannons' favour. Edwards. Popped it over the top. Oh, Gentile goes to Fletcher on the lead.
That was a cracking pickup, half volley, and then just turned around and put it right on Mason's chest.
He kicked one from 50 before as well, so he'll back himself here.
Tighter angle, but he looks fairly confident as he comes in to take the shot. The son of the 400-game legend of the Essendon Footy Club.
I'll tell you what.
Got it. It's there.
Great goal.
Finger in the air, saluting. He's happy with it. Mason Fletcher, the 19-year-old, gets his second in the second half. And the Cannons now back in front by 6 points. What a game of footy we've got.
Again, if you watch the replay here, this little pick-up here, half volley, turns inside, back the other way. Lovely. Just put it... Put the forwards love those kind of kicks. Yeah. They just put the ball into space. It's not being drilled at you like a laser beam or, like a missile. Okay, you hit it too hard. But it's still precise. Gently. Precise. 16 and a half minutes in. There is a goal up the Cannons. Up they go. Hodgkin gets the tap down. Stapleton at the bottom of the pack. Umpire looks and says, no, I'll come in and ball this up again. We've got a secondary circle in the centre square today, haven't we? Favouring the outside.
A line for
wingers, the lines for the wingers as the circle's so far over the square.
Good call. Ball comes out. Favourable bounce. Oh, put on the afterburners there. That was Saley. Fletcher couldn't mark that one. Clark spits out a handball. Pressure. They go backwards to Clark on the left boot. Goes out to centre wing. Good defensive punch. Sutton gets it. Could have been grabbed. Not paid. Easton work it backwards to go forwards. They get it over the top. Now they can launch forward. Flat punt. And mark taken.
The big fella again.
Smith. That was a real flat floater.
Did well to get down so low for the big man. Took it nicely around his shins.
Riley Smith. Zach Smith plays for who? Used to play for the Gold Coast Suns.
Yep.
He's at
Geelong.
Is he Geelong now, is he? Riley Smith comes in, kicks. Bit of an up and under. Goes across the face and it is punched over the boundary line, out of bounds. Forward pocket.
Excellent defensive punch then too, as
away
wide
from
as
danger.
It could, but it won't matter because this throw will be
straight back
very much in the middle.
It's thrown in. Smith won the tap down, straight into traffic and trouble. We'll ball it up. 6 points advantage the way of the Cannons. Smith again with a tap to the deck. Cannons will release though. It's a bouncing ball on the half-back flank, getting there first Sonsi. What can he do with it? Retreats a little way with the handball. They're now centre wing on the outer side. Great tackle laid on. The umpire says nothing doing. I'll ball it up, getting caught there. Hurahan for the Rangers. 6 minutes remaining, 6 points the margin, the way of the Calder Cannons. Mott, handball, Minton Connell getting away from traffic, inside 50. Sullivan laying the pressure on. The umpire says, give it to me, I'll ball it up. Just inside the 50-metre arc. Sullivan, looping handball. Gentile just whacked it forward. Mott gave a good-looking handball off. Ball now in the corridor. Fletcher kicked it around his body. Now under pressure, Andronico. It's going to be fisted through for a minus score.
You can say it, Rick. Go on.
Handy point.
That's the one. That's the one. 5 minutes remaining. They're 7 points up. And they've set up well here. They've set up very well, the Calder Cannons. They go forward. Oh, he got him. Oh.
Just caught him a bit high then.
Solidly, I would say. Just feeling it. That is Parker. Parker's got it. Telegraphs the handball, but goes back the other way. Kicks to half forward. Oh, over the back. Lux of fortune. Zalek can't get it. Eastern Rangers now. Jonty Duffy gets it over to Mitch Mellis. Takes a bounce. Oh, Lord. Gets it across a kick and a goal. Ben Hickleton. Not sure about Mitch Mellis's thought pattern there, but he got it. It's effective. Whatever it is, it's effective.
That was a banana kick too. Under pressure.
That's it. That was ambitious. That's what it was.
Ambitious is the word I was struggling to find.
That was just...
Came in, bounced.
Looked up and thought, oh no. Jeez, he's lucky he had Hickleton there.
He did. He just ran, it was like he ran straight into danger, and then he thought, I'll bounce, because if I get tackled, it'll be holding the ball. But anyway, they've got the goal, and there's a point in it, and there is 2.5 minutes to go, Matthew.
That was another one of those walking along, looking at your phone, running into the telegraph pole. So, 1 point. With 3 minutes left on the clock. Straight 25-minute quarters in the NAB League Boys competition. O'Sullivan got a fingertip to it. Rangers all wrapped up. And we'll get a ball up. Zalek, the one caught on that occasion. Thrown up in the second centre circle. Gentile gave the handball to O'Sullivan. Cardillo, his handball went astray. Zalek now in all sorts of trouble for the Eastern Rangers. Umpire calls for the ball up.
Important minute this. It's just on the edge of the square. Calder attacking.
O'Sullivan palmed it down beautifully. Gentile from 45 metres out offline.
Could see it just go to the left of his foot then when he kicked it.
Yep.
Just on the left side and just offline.
2 points, 2 minutes.
Oh.
Torpedo punt to the middle of the ground. It's a whistle on play.
Cannons.
Free kick to the Cannons. Cardillo goes out wide. Got a man on the run. And Ned Gentile.
Good moment. He's been leading possession getter. There's been a few around the top of the possessions, so it's a hard game to vote, and he's up there. So, key moment for Ned.
I just had a look at the time clock too. Flick the head back over his shoulder.
Comes in. Right on 50. Gets underneath it. Right on the distance. And a mark to the Eastern Rangers. There is no time to dilly-dally. He goes straight down the hay diddle, but luck's a fortune. It's marked by Nathan. They kick to centre wing. Lovely mark taken for the Cannons by Overman.
Definitely.
Overman puts as much on it as he possibly can. The big men fly. 2 bites of the cherry. Can't take it. Rangers doing everything to go forward. Cannon. Strike me pink, that hurt. Cannons go forward. Fletcher can't quite take it. Now the Rangers
down the middle.
Go to Malice. Malice takes it. He wants to play on. He's got to play on. Half a minute to go. He kicks to half forward. They're trying to work underneath it. Now they get to go forward. They kick inside 50. Smith can't quite take it. They run into each other. Calder.
Oh, my goodness.
It's a free kick.
Wouldn't mind seeing that again.
Going the way of the Rangers.
We'll get that one. And the siren goes. Dear, oh dear. To take it, it is Connor Downey for the Eastern Rangers. He will be kicking from 25 metres out. He's on a 35-degree angle. He needs a goal to win, and that's exactly what he has done. He has put it through for a goal on the left boot. The Rangers boys are all over it. They've all come in, and the Cannons have led to the shadows of the post, and they've lost on the bob of a head. I've got to admit, I didn't see what the kick was for.
I know they ran into each other, the Cannons boys, and there was a tackle, I believe, but couldn't quite see it. It was a hard one.
That was one hell of a game that sort of lacked a bit of verve.
I think it was for incorrect disposal.
Incorrect
dropping
disposal.
the ball, the umpire just signalled in the background of the replay vision there. So it was a holding the ball decision.
As he came in and he held his nerve there, Connor Downey, to kick the winning goal. So the final score here at Avalon Airport Oval, the top team will remain on top, 10-7-67 to the Calder Cannons, 9-9-63, a 4-point defeat to the Calder Cannons, and for a game that lacked in some areas throughout, it delivered in the last quarter. It was a good last quarter. A few lead changes.
Goal for goal, wasn't it? And well done to the Rangers. They never gave up, and they looked gone there in that last minute, but they decided to throw it forward, throw caution to the wind, and they got the rewards. And the Cannons can count themselves unlucky as well. They fought hard to try and win that.
Pickpocketed, I felt. The Calder Cannons. I felt, even though the Eastern Rangers, you could feel them working their way into the game.
Yep.
Cannons had done enough to get them the win. At the end of the day, though, that last passage of play.
And down on the ground, we have Siobhan Rowe kicking to the man that kicked the winning goal, Connor Downey.
I'm down on the ground with the match winner, Connor Downey. That was a brilliant game. Close, talk us through what was going through your mind during that last kick.
I was just trying to calm myself down and just back myself in to kick the goal for the boys.
Did you think you had the distance?
Oh yeah, definitely. I backed myself in and was hopeful I could get the job done.
That caps off just a brilliant season for the Eastern Rangers. A poor season last year, but you finished on top of the table.
Yeah, definitely coming in as a bottom major, I didn't really know what to expect. Then all the top majors were really good, sort of helping us bottom majors get sort of into the game and stuff. And yeah, full credit to them.
So you've got the week off, and that's a great achievement. So you don't have to play in wildcard round. How are you going to prepare for the finals that are coming up after your week off?
We got a big week on the track for the boys, and probably do a bit of running Saturday just to keep the fitness up and hopefully full steam ahead for the finals.
It's pretty cool playing with some of these players. James Ross had a great game today. Mitch Malice in the midfield.
Yeah, definitely. Like Rossi, great skipper, always gets the job done. Same with Malice, all the other boys.
Well done on your game today, and congratulations for kicking the match-winning goal.
Good work, Siobhan. That is a win to the Eastern Rangers on the last kick of the day. That is the second of the triple header down. We'll be back with the big one. The Sandringham Dragons taking on the Oakley Chargers. Plenty of draft prospects coming up here. We'll be back on the other side of a short break.